All right, we're gonna start this order. We're gonna start this meeting.
Yes, sir.
Is it 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. My secretary just told me it's 6 o'clock. It's gonna be short and sweet.
Okay.
All right, thanks for everybody being here, and we do have a quorum. Let it be known that Brad and Paris are not here today for unfortunate reasons, but anyway, we're gonna continue on. So I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Can I have approve of the agenda as it is?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Then, can I have a show of hands? Okay, unanimous. All right. Can I have approval for the minute, a motion for about the approval for the minutes of June 15th? Anybody have any discrepancies that might be brought forward?
So moved. Second.
Okay.
You gonna read the minutes?
No, sir.
We were sent with them.
We're not going to read minutes. But anyway, any discussion? And okay, all those in favor? Let it be known, we got all four of them. Okay, old business is our last meeting we had, we're going to talk about committee meetings and committee people and the committees that we were going to develop, excuse me. What I came up with is 3 committees, and we'll go over those right now. One being bylaws, and we've got bylaws that we can give to everybody. Business Development Committee, which is a committee to meet and greet new businesses coming into town. And the last one I put down, and we can talk about this, Merchants Association Liaison Committee. I've talked to a couple of you about this. I don't know if we want to go in that direction, but we'll talk about it. So, for the bylaws, I talked to Paris, and he is okay with it because he's done the chamber. Is anybody would like to be on that within the group?
I can work with him on that.
Okay, that's good. So Dave,
You did it before with the chamber.
and I thought that, and I started bringing that up. So Dave and Paris will be the bylaws, and we will get you that.
And just so I understand, basically that's just see kind of where we're at, assessing them, looking at them, making sure that.
And we can change what's in there. I mean, like, I've read it once, but it's been a while. Like, there may be something in there about the first meeting of the first Thursday of every month. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, is that right, Sonny, Dan?
You should have regular meetings.
Yes, sir.
I would just encourage you to reach out to some DDAs in other cities.
Well, and it's not to
And just get theirs and see what they say.
Sonny, that's what I was doing, and by the way, I called Tara Bradshaw. She's extremely busy right now, and that's what I was going to do, is get somebody that was comparable to our community and get those bylaws, and then bring it forth, and if y'all want to wait on that, that's fine. Of course, Paris will be there too. So that's the process I was going to do.
And those bylaws that, those archaic ones in hieroglyphics, I don't know that they're bad, I just, they just need to be updated.
So we have existing ones now, we just want to look at them and review them.
Yeah, and there may be some stuff we don't want in there, and we can go that with our 2 people here, and Sonny. So with that, we have 2 people on that committee. All right, so next is the Business Development Committee, which is going out and greeting the new businesses coming into the community. Anybody would like to be on that?
I'll be glad to.
Okay.
I'll do it with Marty.
Okay. All right. So we got Marty and Amy.
Can we make it kind of how we want it to?
You do whatever you want to do. If y'all want to have, and I'm saying this, if we want to have after we have several new businesses come into town, we can come in here and have, hors d'oeuvres of some kind, if y'all want to do that, or whatever y'all want to come up with. I think it's y'all's ideas. That's the reason we're doing this. I've got some intelligent people in this group, and I want to use it. Okay?
Great.
All right. The next one is the Merchants Association Liaison Committee. This is something that I put down, and I want some discussion from y'all. In the past, the Merchants Association has been off in their own little world. But I want to develop something with that, and it may not be a good time to do this, but I wanted to put it out there and see what y'all thought, and so I want some discussion from y'all to talk about it.
There's been a merchants of some type of association for a long time, and,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of working parts, both good and bad, you know, with it, and you've been involved with it and all that. I mean, it's all been, when I say bad, I mean, it's just, you get one tangent wants to go one way and one tangent goes the other, and, you know, I go back to when Maxine was here, you know, it was
You
all.
started that, actually.
Yeah, she, you know, she got, and it was, you know, the way she did it was the way at the time, it was, you know, we had the cruise-ins and all the things like that, and then it kind of developed around that. But the Merchant Association is, I think we need to kind of, before we decide if we want to take it on, is that we need to look at it from a state and probably from a regional point of view of, is that what, like you said about the bylaws? Why create something that could already be created, and if we want them to be a part of what we do and how the city wants us to go, we need to see, do they have to have their own bylaws and their own rules and their own officers and things like that in order to provide funding, projects, and all those things that go forward for the downtown merchants? Because you might need them to create grants and things just like that we will probably look forward to in the future. So I wouldn't say no, not now, or yes, but is that something that this governing body needs to manage or take on? And does the city wish to, like us to do that too? So let's be sure that we get some.
Dave or Amy?
That was, just going on the end of Marty's, is there's someone staffed within the city currently that handles that. I'm sure it's just maybe Tara right now, but I know we're moving toward maybe hopes of a Main Street USA, and I know those things, you know, take a part-time staff member and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't want us to spread ourselves too thin working with the Merchants Association and the staff member at the city and whatever. I kind of want to see what the Merchants Association's role in general is.
Well, and Dave, let you say something first.
Well, no, you're good, go ahead.
Well, I'm on the same wavelength. I mean, when Ms. Moore was here, Ms. Maxine, it was a lot different, and, but I don't know which direction they're wanting to go into. I think we need to sit down and talk to some of the executive committee, if they do have an executive committee, of president, vice president, and secretary, and see where they're leaning towards and what they're wanting to do. That's the reason I put it down. But we can discuss this at a later time, but I just wanted to put it out there. So I think it's something we need to look into. We don't necessarily have to put somebody on this committee right now, but I think that's what we need to do.
Can I suggest that if we're moving, if I get ahead of us, let me know if I get ahead on the agenda. If we're doing a workshop with Tara, how about we invite leaders of the Merchants Association for an hour visit into our workshop. Tell them to come from 9 to 12 or whatever it is. Invite these people. That way we can work together if they want us. I don't want us to insert ourselves.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So just, we'll make a note of that we'll invite them at a
Let's
certain
see how
time.
that goes from
Okay.
that, and develop from that. And give it like a 3 months and let's see what happens.
Perfect.
Okay?
That's what I was
Everybody
thinking,
agree?
kind of like a waiting period, just to
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, we'll invite them into us,
Right,
you know, see
yeah.
where we can work together.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
Can I make just a couple of comments?
sure.
I mean, it's a little bit out of order, but, I think, y'all need to understand that y'all are the big daddy, if you will, because you're the, government. I mean, you're a powerful organization and really stand on your own. And I think, when we first started talking about the Main Street program back several years ago, one of the benefits of that would be potentially to unify some of these disconjugate organizations. Remember, the chamber is our designated management organization, so we have a legal relationship with the chamber around our hotel motel tax money. So someday, if we ever had a Main Street program and we needed a board that needed people other than y'all, you could potentially pull from the chamber and from Jasper Merchants. So I think it's great that you try to incorporate them, but it doesn't necessarily need to be exclusive of the chamber or any other organization for that matter, so.
Right,
It sounds like you're on a good track.
okay. Well, we'll go with that.
You want to just sort of table who's going to be
Yes.
the liaisons and,
Right,
They need us and we need them.
yeah, that's exactly right. And we'll get together, and I'll try to talk to them and see what's going on, and then I'll communicate with y'all and we'll go from there.
well, and if this is getting ahead too, let me know, just like Sonny said, maybe at this particular segment of our workshop, we can also invite the chamber, I mean, whomever wants to be a part of something like that to make it more cohesive.
Agree,
I'd be interested in that too.
okay.
Okay.
The city also has a little kind of a liaison person too, Katie Shaw, so I know that Katie and the chamber have had conversations. I also think, even though this is really early and Brandon's gone, but some of the conversations were about having a person dedicated to y'all, whether it be Tara or somebody under her, or you know, we're not even close to getting to that point yet, but that would be a great
Okay,
thing to.
I'll help you compile a list.
okay. I know that the mayor came to me and said, he got Katie for that reason, so we, like when somebody opened a new business, us being there with them and all that kind of stuff, so I think that's a great idea also. Any other comments on that, on any of the committees? I will jump in there with y'all too, as far as just being in there and helping y'all in any way I can, so I don't want it more of y'all to take a stance in this, but I appreciate y'all doing what you're doing. All right, so let's get into the new business.
Do you need a motion to approve this?
Oh, okay, excuse me. I need a motion for us to approve the committees as we listed. Do I need to do one each single?
You can do it together.
Okay, so can I have a motion for the committees as we have stated today?
Make the motion.
Second, okay. Any discussion? All right. All those for saying aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, let's go to the new business. All right, so Jack Dunn, being Jack Dunn, over the last couple of months has done some things oblivious to being chairman of the DDA. And what I mean by that, I'm a citizen of downtown Jasper, and so I went out into the community and had a meeting with the mayor and Universal Concept, and after the meeting, I thought I would go out and do some things, and I should have got y'all's approval before I did this, and that's the reason I'm bringing this up. I wanted to further enhance the kids' Christmas. And so I went out in the community and I got some people who made some donations, some corporations. And I should have came before y'all as a body, as a board, and told you what I was doing. And I'm sorry I didn't do that. But I need a motion that I went out in front of, oblivious to y'all, but as a DDA, would y'all let me be a, I'm trying to word this a little bit differently. I have wanted to raise some money for Christmas. So what I want to do is ask y'all if I have your approval to do that, number one. So I'm going to ask y'all for a vote, if I have y'all's approval to have this authority for this one time to spend some money for downtown. With that, I'll ask for a motion.
Now, is that why you wore the suit tonight?
No, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying, well, no, I just,
May I ask for just discussion?
yes, sir.
Details, can I ask what your plans to do with the money would be?
Well, that's coming up in the second thing, so we'll just go ahead and get into that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm getting 2 lights, and I had a picture of my lights, in fact, it's in the truck, I left it. But it's 2 lights that would help with the downtown area as far as Christmas.
Okay.
These are, looks like ornaments, they're 11 feet tall, they're 9 feet wide, they're 3D lights, and they will be located, if everything goes okay and y'all get y'all's approval, one will be in front of the nail shop and the other one will be in front of 61 Main. So people can get under the ornament and take pictures. for Christmas.
Cool.
Now, again, I shouldn't have done this, but I did. Again, I was not thinking, I'm new to this just like y'all are, and so I've been put in my place, and now I know what I'm supposed to be doing from this day forward. So,
So you're soliciting financial donations from business owners?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so,
and we do have enough money to get 2 ornaments, and in fact, we'll have a little money left over for next year. So,
And that money will have to stay in a, what we would call like a Christmas fund, or,
actually, it's, what I was gonna do with it is just put it
General fund?
in the general DDA fund. And so, and you'll know how much that money is, because I'm gonna tell you.
all right, so if I make a motion that Jack be in charge of fundraising
For this time on,
for this time only, you mean till the end of the year,
yes,
for Christmas decorations, and the remainder be in the general fund.
that's correct, for DDA.
I just made the motion.
Okay. Need a second?
I'll second.
Okay, anybody opposed? Everybody in favor? Okay. Now, I went to, some individuals have gave me money, and I won't mention those names,
Laughed out, that's what you meant.
but I've had 2 corporations and I've got 2 others that are saying they're gonna contribute. And right now, the lights that we're looking at are 3,600. We have more than that in our kitty, if you will.
3,600 per ornament.
It's $18.50 per ornament. And of course, Universal Concepts will set these up, like when they run the rest of the lights. So you're gonna have around $4,500. And so you'll have some left over for next year. And by the way, at some point in time, I would like for each one in this committee to maybe contribute just a small amount, just to say we're on board and trying to help the city. I would think that would be something we need, and if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But anyway, so I have $36.50 that I'm going to spend. Can I have a motion to spend $36.50 for the 2 lights?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you, and I assure you, I will never do this again. Jack Dunn, being Jack Dunn, tried to do something out of his, that he loves doing, and that's helped this community, and stepped out of line and forgot what he was doing here in this situation. So I apologize, and it won't happen again. The next item is introduction of Terry Bradshaw. Several of us in this room were in a meeting about a month and a half ago with Terry Bradshaw. She was the Georgia Development of Community Affairs. And by the way, she is a great liaison to the DDA. I've spent numerous phone calls with her already. And so we're going to introduce her at our December meeting, which is December the 9th, wasn't it, Terry?
It's actually December the 2nd.
December the 2nd at 6 o'clock. She will conduct the meeting, and what she's going to do is give us an overall orientation about DDA. And believe you me, it opened my eyes. I had no idea what DDA could do and what it's supposed to be doing. But I think it's a good step for us to go in the right direction with the right things that we have in front of us, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. And she is a great person. We also met another gentleman named Philip, and Philip's last name?
No, Patrick Vickers.
Patrick Vickers, yes, from the state, and he did a presentation as well. But I wanted
He's
you
our regional agent, I guess it would be called,
Right.
for the Northwest region, so.
So I wanted y'all to know this. Again, there's monies that we can, and again, I've always heard this, but I never knew what the concept was, what the ideas was, that DDA can go out and help businesses get money for their financial being and promoting new business in our communities. And so Terry's going to lead us in that and this workshop. So I wanted you to know about that. I'm very, very happy that she's going to come up here. It's not going to be a virtual unless something happens. And she will be here, and she's a very lovely lady and has a lot of knowledge. She started in Dublin. She did the same thing I'm doing right now as a beginner, and now she works for the state. So she has got a lot of wealth of knowledge. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. The last thing on our agenda today is the city council liaison. And so we have Sunny, and then are you Ann or is it Kurt?
It's actually Kurt.
That's what I thought, okay.
Yeah.
Kurt's not feeling well, so
Yeah.
Ann's stepping in for him tonight. And I just want to make sure y'all, I've had numerous of y'all, and several of us not here tonight, numerous of y'all here to ask questions about who are our people on council that will be with us to help and so on and so forth. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention that, we got 2 people that are on staff that will help us, and I look forward to those meetings with them as well. Any questions on any of that? Okay. All right. Anybody got anything they want to add to the meeting tonight?
The question about going back to the bylaws, is that going to address, like, how we go forward in the future as far as our role and as far as positions on our board and elected and appointed and all that stuff? Is that part of that too, or is the city?
Pretty sure that's right? It's listed in the bylaws, how many terms, who does what, and all that kind of stuff.
That's actually part of this state statute that dictates the length of terms and how they revolve and rotate off and so forth and
So
so
it's
on.
not our bylaws that have created that, it's dictated by the state.
There are some gaps in the state laws about appointment of officers and some other things like that. And those things are all, you don't have to, you can serve more than one term. You just would have to have it notated in your bylaws, in your minutes, that nobody was stepping up. And then if somebody were to step up, the person that was serving overtime would step down.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I just said, and there's,
And you can go online and read those laws, and if the first time you go through them, you kind of, but it starts making sense.
I know.
There's not that many that apply to DDAs, but,
So I get, and that's part of, I guess that's what we'll be doing, I guess, Parrish and I, they'll be reviewing that,
Right.
kind of taking a look at that and deciding.
So one thing, me and Amy were just sitting here talking, and so it's, in the past, it was always 6 o'clock. So could we change that, like say to 4 to 7?
you can do whatever you want,
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
You mean what, meeting time?
Yeah,
Well, just,
go ahead.
may I, just for our workshop, I just feel like a 6 to 7 isn't going to be valuable enough time to get.
And I'll talk to
These people.
Terry about that. In fact, she's very busy, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her the last 2 or 3 days, but I have talked to her a bunch. But anyway, we'll talk about that, and we maybe, but now we just got to have it in the paper a week before, so we can change the time.
Okay, so we don't need to set that right now,
It
okay.
should just be on our agenda for that part of the meeting.
Yes.
What you may ultimately want to do is set a regular, it kind of depends on if you're meeting every month or you're not meeting. If you set a regular meeting, then you just have to announce that you're not having a meeting.
Right.
And that may be a more efficient way to do it. But, and
Okay.
on your committees, you can, you gotta be careful because all of it is subject to open meetings.
Right.
But if your committees are not making decisions, then you could probably have as many as 3 people on a committee meeting at one time, as long as you weren't voting on anything. You were just making recommendations to the authority.
So our authority to vote on, we could bring anything to.
And if you need, if you need legal advice, Siphon, I'm sure be glad to help. We probably ought to walk through that and decide how we're gonna do that, because, he would be acting on your behalf, not the city's, and that's a potential conflict, even though it's very common that the city and the DDA have the same attorney. I think in the purest form, the experts would be saying you shouldn't do that, but particularly I think in this formative stage when we're not doing $16 million bonds on apartment buildings, it probably is okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
We have done one.
Has anybody else got any other discussion? Is there anything you'd like to have on the agenda besides Tara next meeting that you would like to look into? Dave?
So when is the, as far as the downtown decorations and all that sort of stuff, is that something
Okay,
that we take
so-
care of before the next meeting, or is that?
Okay, so I can tell you, I talked to Lori Fullwood yesterday. The banners are made, they're ready to go. She's gonna get back with me because she's got so many places she's going to. I told her I just needed it up before the first week in December. I proposed the 20th, that week of the 20th, and that weekend's the 20th, right in there, but she said she'd get back to me next week and let me know. So all city and county lights will be up, the banners will be up, whatever they come. They take care of all that and they store it and so on and so forth, so that will be done. The next one of the things we need to discuss, and I guess we need to talk to the city also, is the maintenance contract that we've got now, the mayor has signed with the Universal Concept. There's 4 times when they come over and check the lights to make sure there's nothing wrong with the lights, they're hanging up. But now you got the banners too, that's part of their function, is putting up the banners. So we gotta look at this. Of course, we'll have Christmas and that'll all be done in November. And then you've got your Jasper Jeep Fest, and you've also got the Georgia Marble, so that's September and October, back to back. And then you've got, you know, sometime in the springtime to get the lights checked. So that's just something we need to talk to, and we need to get some firm dates with her so she can come over here and check lights and so on.
Do you plan to have the 2 ordinances we're raising money for in by this Christmas?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
she's got it.
And we have plans to keep those,
They're taken care of.
so they just put them out for them, put
Yes,
them
sir.
back,
Yes,
take
sir.
care of the whole.
That's just like the cities.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I told her that I want her looking out for other lights for next year. And I will get with Amy and some other ladies too, because Amy didn't like one of the lights I picked out, so we changed it. But, you know, the women know all about the concepts here. So anyway, I've got different lights. Yeah, let's write that down. But anyway, so we're gonna look at different lights for next year. These are 3D lights. They're very bright. I think I've seen them in the concept room before. They are beautiful. I think you're gonna really like them. It's gonna be something outstanding that you'll like. I really believe that. So there's some other things, and like I said, I've got some other ideas, and I will discuss that before I go in that area again. So anyway, all right. All right. With that, we're going to adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All those opposed? All those for? Excuse me. All right. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all being here.